Hey there everyone, this is Mystic Fish and welcome to episode 8 of our Factorio series where we are designing an expandable base. Last episode we designed this unloading station for raw materials at the main base. And we got a number of helpful comments from the viewers. The first one is that Paistro had some comments about this particular balancer here. And there are really two things here. One is that it is not throughput unlimited, which means that if we are in a case where we're not using all of the inputs or all of the outputs, then we may not get the full throughput of whatever happens to be going through here. And so that is potentially a problem. Now, Paistro also noted that most of the time we're unloading we're unloading stuff onto all of these belts. So the inputs should always be utilized. And so I don't think that's a problem in practice. Paistro also noted that this is not a lane balancer. And so we'll have to do something else, I think, a little further upstream to address that. And meaning that it doesn't do anything about balancing both sides of its output belts. Now, I did some hunting around. I could not find an 8 to 8 balancer for yellow belts that was throughput unlimited and or a lane balancer that would fit in this footprint. I mean, we're pretty space constrained here. Maybe there's one extra tile worth of space right here that we could scooch things over, but I still couldn't find anything that would fit in there. So I think we'll have to address that issue somewhere else. And even the ones that are roughly squarish are still bigger than this. And so we'll have to address that at a future note. But they are good points, and we'll just have to figure that out downstream. Now, another viewer, Maxim, noted and said that, hey, you know what? You're going to have trouble keeping these belts saturated with this even unloading thing that we have here. And so I decided to set up a little test bed out here to see how well this worked. So I have here some chests with some ore in it. Actually, let's put a little more ore in here just for our testing. And here's our belt configuration that we're looking for. And then we have something that will kind of consume all of the ore after we put it in there. How are we doing there? Okay, that should be enough ore. So let's get rid of these guys. Now, I'm dividing my 6 here because we just have 6 chests, but to check for the even unloading, but that should be okay. And then over here, I have the same conditions set up that we have set up for the unloading over there in the blueprint. And I have versions of this for stack inserters and for fast inserters. For the stack inserters, I've set the stack size to 4. And the fast inserter stack size to 2 so that we can test those, because those are the minimum upgrades that I think we calculated last time that we are going to need. Now, the other thing that I have turned on, I'm going to open the debug menu, which is F4. And there's an option here, which is show transport line gaps. I think we saw this earlier when we were designing our smelting columns, but I do have that turned on because that's going to show us if we're able to saturate these belts here. Now, actually, I think I want to test this for blue belts. That seems like a good place to test this with the stack inserters. And so I believe we calculated that even with a stack size of 4, these 6 stack inserters should be able to output their overall aggregate throughput is enough to saturate the belt. And so let's see. However, we can see that occasionally we get these gaps in the belt, right? These white lines are showing up on this output belt. And part of that is just due to, I think, delays in working with each other. And then they also compete a little bit for the space on the belt here. And so that's a problem. Like, we really want this to be a fully saturated output belt. So I did some playing around, and I think I have an alternative design. So one of the problems here, right, is that we have 3 inserters competing to all put things on the same side of this belt, and essentially 3 competing to put things on the same side of this belt here, right around the corner here, if you count the one that's putting it here. And so one idea is to just, let's reduce contention here. And let's do this. So instead of having 3 inserters competing for each belt, we can have maybe a max of 2. But then we can smush them together over here like this. So let's see how well this works. Let's put this in here. And that actually seems to work. So that's good stuff. So we're keeping the balanced unloading. And essentially with the side loaded belts here, we're getting fully compressed belt on the outside. And there's enough, I think, extra belt here and not competing for where we're putting stuff that the inserters can move at the full speed that they want to. So that is good stuff. We want to see that. Okay, next we should test this. And let's see if we can, let's see, I have some bots in here. So I believe we can take an upgrade planner, and now I'm gonna right drag, and we can see these will downgrade these blue belts to red belts. And I do have some bots in here that will helpfully do that for us. So let's try this again and see if we can get a fully compressed belt on the output side here. And that also looks to be working okay. Okay, great. So then the last thing to test is we should then downgrade these to yellow belts, like so. And then we want the fast inserters for these guys. So let's see if we can get things compressed over here on the yellow belts and continue running at sort of full speed, which it appears that we can. There, we can see here, this is some of the contention, right? The inserters on the outside here are not able to put things on sort of as fast as they would like to, but I think their aggregate throughput here is still faster than the belt, and so we are getting a compressed belt out. So that's going to solve that problem for us, which is good stuff. So thanks to Maxim for suggesting that we go take a look at that. Now that means that we're going to have to come over here and rearrange a bunch of this stuff. So I think we have to get rid of all of these belts. And what we need is this thing. We need to put this everywhere. Okay, and now for the fun belt weaving. So let's see. Get that guy in there like that. We can turn this guy. We can go down this way. And then down and in that way. This one can hop across here. And then we have to go up here and then back down. And in. This one then can go over here, hop across and in, and then the rest of these are straight shots. So that's good. So this is a better belt unloading design that will help us keep saturated belts. So this is good stuff. So we'll update the blueprint here as we publish this episode. So that's good stuff. Let's just finish correcting this. Okay, and then Peister also noted that we do not want to include this radar in the blueprint. That was just here because we flipped the grid orientation around just to check where it would be. And we do not want to include these radars in the final blueprint because they may block the path in some orientations. So when the path is over here, then that's fine. The radar will be here, but when the path is over here, the radar will be up here. So that's okay. So the radar should just not be part of this blueprint. So let's get rid of this one. Let's blueprint this. And this is going to be unloading station. And actually, you know what? Since we tested it this way, I feel like we should actually specifically override the stack size here for these guys, because that's how we tested it. And so then that means that we'll take this, and this will be unloading station fast inserters. And so we will have a station, it will be unloading for you, and then we'll put a fast inserter on it. Snap to grid, 100 by 100. Looks like we need to offset by 2 and 2. And then we've got some extra lights and stuff up here that were left over from various fiddling around stuff I was doing between episodes. So we can clear those out. And no more extraneous lights. Okay, great. So that is what we want. So we'll create that blueprint. We'll save that guy. And then I do want to upgrade all of the inserters here. So I do have construction bots in here, so that's okay. Let's just stick some stuff here. I need a bunch of stack inserters, which I'll put in here. And then we're going to upgrade all of the inserters. All of these inserters. And then we're specifically going to override the stack side here to be 4. Because again, that's what we tested. And that's sufficient. We don't have to do any limits on the ones that unload stuff from the train. Those should really always go as fast as they're possible to go. Okay, so let's get rid of these extraneous lights. While we are at it, these are there. Get rid of these guys. Come on. And that one and that one. All right, then blueprint. This will be unloading station stack inserters. And so we need a station, we want it to be unloading, and we want stack inserters. And then the dimensions are as follows. And create blueprint. Okay, good. Then what is next? Okay, what's next is, I think the flip side of this is going to be a loading station. So for this, we need to reverse all of the belts. R. So if you didn't know, if you hit R on top of an underground, it reverses its direction. So that is good. I think we're going to have to get rid of this stuff. I think we want to re-downgrade these guys so we can take our... Yeah, I guess it's okay. We can leave them like this. Oh, we need to get rid of these in... All right, we're going to have to do something with the inserters anyway. But we do want to pick this thing up, and then we want to flip it. Okay, and then we need to get this stuff in here. We're going around the corner. Okay. There we go. And now we'll have to figure out what to do about the loading. So I've got another test bed here where, let's get rid of this stuff. I similarly want to do balanced loading into the chests. And again, that's so that when we go from the chests into the train that we're loading, we can use all 6 of them for all of the cars. So that is why this is designed here. I have set up the circuit condition to be very similar to what we had here, except that I've changed the order, I guess, of this sign here. So for our unloading stations, we're looking for greater than or equal to, but we flipped it here to be less than or equal to. And that's because we want to put something in the chest. If the chest has less than the average, that means we need to catch up there. And so this is, that means that this guy is looking for a negative number, because the negative average will be larger in an absolute sense than the contents of the box if we want this to be active. Okay. Next, let's go in here, and I'm not gonna mess around here. We're gonna get a 1 to 6 balancer. And then I want to downgrade this, downgrade, and downgrade. All right, so this is going to come in here, and hopefully this should give the same amount of stuff to each inserter here, and then let's get some input here. And so we're looking for hopefully being able to get this whole belt in here and load everything into the belt without the belt backing up. So let's let this run for a little bit and see if this works for us. That seems to be working just fine. Interestingly, this inserter is out of sync with the rest of them. The rest of them are pretty close, but I think that's okay. It's working. Okay, so that is good stuff. So let's get rid of this. Let's let this go through. And now let's see. Let's test this on red and blue belts as well. Let's finish getting rid of all this ore. There we go. Okay, get rid of you. There we go. Okay, then let's upgrade these to red belts. Let's get rid of these inserters, and let's copy the stack inserter versions in, and let's see if this works for red belts. Again, we can see like some of these belts are not fully compressed, which is actually to be expected. Actually, I don't think we'll need this anymore. So we can turn that guy off, save ourselves a little CPU. And this all seems to be working okay. Pulling a full belt here, so that's good. So let's cut that. Let's see, now we want to upgrade these to blue belts. Let's get rid of these chests, put them back. And let's see if we're working on blue belts. Well, one of the things I'm noting here is we do have some things backing up here. This lane here is backing up, or this half of the belt is backing up. The question is this going to cause enough of a problem? Is this going to cause a problem for us? Is the question. I guess the thing that we really care about is, you know, if we watch this, I'm a little worried the inner belt here is filling up too. But no, I guess it seems to be working okay. This has been running flat out for quite a while now. And so I think if this was going to back up, it would probably have backed up by now. We're not seeing any stutters here on the inside, input side of this input belt. So I think this design is going to work for us, so that is good stuff. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to downgrade these and downgrade these. Let's get rid of the extra stuff here. And then we're going to need to copy this stuff over here. We're going to have to do something different with these inserters. And we're going to have to do some fun belt weaving here. So let's see. Let's get rid of all of these inserters. And then we might as well start with the fast inserter version. Except that we don't want this because this is divided by 6 instead of by 48. So we don't want that guy. But we do want to put these in here. Okay, that did not quite work the way I wanted it to, because we didn't get this wire here, which needs to come across. And so then I think we want to copy this stuff. And now that put the wire across all of those. Okay, good. Now we want to downgrade all of these. So right drag. Oh, I probably have that logistics chest sitting in here in these blueprints. Oh no, I didn't. Do I have it here? I do. All right, so just get rid of that guy. Okay, good stuff. And all right, so now we need to figure out if we can weave this stuff in here. And let's see. I think we're gonna have to do some hopping like this. Okay, so this will get across some of the stuff in the middle here, except that this one just wants to go in there. We don't need these, and then we don't need that. And you go in there. Okay, that gets the last two in. And I guess we want to hop like this. And then we can get that one in there. And I guess we'll take advantage of the fact that we have an extra line up here. And then this guy can jump like that. Okay, and then the rest of these can just go in. Okay, so we need these to continue over. This is going to go down here. This is going to go down here. This is going to go down here. And this is going to go down here. And these two already have inputs. Okay, great. That is it. That is a loading station. So that is good stuff. Now, the loading station is going to be a little different in that we don't need fuel. And we don't need to dynamically set the limit. So let's get rid of this fuel stuff here while we're at it. And that is because the design that I want to do is I want all of our resource trains to be built at the outposts. And so we're actually going to build the trains, include them in the blueprint like this. So, so each outpost will be able to build, looks like six trains. And let's see, I guess at first we should probably fill them with coal. I guess we need some coal somewhere. Here we go. So I want to put coal in there. And then let's see. We're going to make, I think, 4 versions of this. Primarily because if we're going to make copies of the blueprint, if we're going to include the trains in the blueprint, then we also want to include their schedules. But the trains are going to have different schedules depending on what resource we're at. So I think it's just easier to go ahead and give these things names. So let's just start with the first one is going to be just called iron ore. This is where you come get iron ore. In order to set the schedule, we actually need a station that's named appropriately. And so I guess we'll call this iron ore into chests for the unloading. Okay, that's fine. Now we can put this in the schedule. So you're going to go there until you are full, and then you're going to go there until you are empty. And that is the entire schedule that we're going to need for any of our resource trains. Obviously, there'll be different ones for the different resources. We have the fuel that's in there. And then what we can do is we can do a blueprint of this. We can include the trains and the train fuel. So we can see the blueprint includes the coal that we put in there, as well as these. I'm just going to use this temporarily because we can put the other ones here like this. And I guess we can get rid of those. We need some more coal. And then this way we can blueprint the trains with some initial fuel, and when they get built, they'll start out fueled, and then from there out, they can, when they actually come to the main base, they can get refueled there. Okay, is this our loading station? I think this is our loading station. This is pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to give this a name. Let's take a blueprint. Let's call this a station for ore, and let's give it an L. And these have fast inserters. So although these inserters don't need to be, we actually don't need a separate blueprint for the fast inserters because we can do these override the stack size. They don't have to, because they're just grabbing stuff as fast as they can. We've tested it. We wanted to set it for testing to make sure that even if they can only carry 2, they can grab everything, which they can. Okay, great. So then we can take this blueprint, and we can just do regular upgrades if we want to upgrade things. So this is going to be loading station for iron. So we're going to say this is a station loading for iron. I'm going to snap to grid, 100 by 100. I think we need 2 and 2. That seems to be okay. Do we want the belts to come all the way up to the edge? I guess we do. Why not? All right. I'll grab this. So this is going to be, what do we call it? Loading station iron. So station L for loading, and then iron. And so 100 by 100, 2 and 2, that lines us up. And then down here, we're going to include train stop names so that we get the iron ore on this station. We're going to include trains so that we get the trains, and we're going to include the train fuel. And so there's the coal that comes in here. Okay, so let's create this blueprint. We're going to put that there. I will go off camera to make the versions of these for the other resources, which is pretty much just going to be changing the name of the station and then updating the train schedules down here. So that would be okay. But I do want to talk just a little bit about the train scheduling here. Oh, we didn't do the limits here. Okay, so so the limit here, we are actually just going to statically set the limit to 7. Because we can have 7 trains in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? The stacker works as we described previously. So there can be 7 trains here. And that is actually just fine, because, although, you know what, let's make 6, because we know that there are 6 trains created with this outpost. And the main thing is, we always want, when a train is finished dropping stuff off at the base, we always want it to have someplace to go, so that it clears out of the base, so that something else can bring more resources into the base. And so this system will do that. So because we know that we have all the parking spaces here for all of the trains that got created here, then every train will always have someplace to go when it's coming back from the base. It may not be at the same base it was created in. That's okay. But this will cover for things like, eventually some outposts may run out of ore, and that's okay, because eventually 6 trains will end up parked there and they won't do anything. And it's okay even if we don't have a full load ready for the train. Even if there's a load ready at some other station, well, some other train will end up going there. And so it's okay for a train to be in here and wait to, for maybe a mostly depleted resource patch to slowly trickle in and load things up. So that is okay, and that is the design of our train system here. Okay, we have more stuff to do for sure as we go here. So this is what we have for today's episode. We've got loading. We've got a fixed up version of the unloading. That is all good stuff. So as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Until then, bye.